Hello guys, welcome to this video. In our last video we did small project on an inventory system. So we did a simple inventory system. So in the system we performed simple crude operations like to create data, update data, retrieve data from our MongoDB and delete data from our MongoDB. So that's what we did in our last project. So in this video, I will be teaching you how to hash password. Earlier in this course, we did registration, how to register a student into your Node.js Express server. So if you are working on a real life application, you need to consider the security of your users so that that registers on your site. So for security purposes, we hash password. You need to hash the password that a user enters. So now, even you don't have access to the password. If you hash the password, you don't have access to it. In case anybody buys into your MongoDB or your database, nobody can access the password of any user in your database. So that's why we hash password. Why registering the user. So now we have some dependencies that we need to use in hashing a user's password. So some of the dependencies we have bcrypt, we have bcrypt.js. So anyone that you want to use. So in this video, I'm going to be using bcrypt.js to hash the password. So what you need to do is just to come here, come to your terminal, do npm. I told you earlier in this video that anytime we want to install a dependency, we'll be using npm I to install plus the name of the dependency. So we'll do npm I bcrypt.js like this. So make sure you have internet connection so it will install successfully. So if you go here to your package.json, you see dependencies. We have bcrypt, we have .env, we have express, we have mongoose, and we have nodemon, we have malta. So that's it. So if you have bcrypt.js like this installed on your server, what you need to do, you need to go to your models. These are our workers model. So we are registering worker with password here. So what we need to do is that if we create this, we have successfully created this class. eh, So now we need to, before creating this worker, before creating this each of the worker, before we save it, we need to hash the password. It's here that we write the function. So the function that we are to write is a pre-save function. So before the schema saves the user object, we need to undergo the pre-save function. Then it will catch the password and hash it before saving it to the workers collection. So what you need to do is to come here, we'll say user worker schema dot pre like this. Open your parenthesis, the method pre-save function, pre-save. Then we have async. So this is an asynchronous function. So that we need to perform it. You need to await each of the mode to execute. So I will put next here. as the parameter of the function, because if the function executes, then I will call the next function so that it will move to another mode. So I will come here. First thing I need to do is to come up here and require the module that we are using, the dependency that we are using to hash the password. I will say const pcrypt.js. I will call it by its name. Pcrypt.js is equal to require pcrypt.js like this. So I need to bcrypt.js works the same as bcrypt. So if you install bcrypt, you follow the same method. If you install bcrypt.js, you follow the same method, anyone that is preferred by you. So first of all, we need to generate a salt. A salt is a random character that you use to hash the password. So now we need to generate the salt, then we'll now use the salt to hash the password. So we'll do const salt. I will store it in this variable called salt is equal to await bcrypt.js dot generate salt like this. So I will console log it so that if this code executes, you see the salt that is being generated. So now like this, now we have successfully generated the salt. So what we need to do is call this dot password is equal to, if I say this dot password, I'm referring to the password that is being saved into this. So that's this password. So is equal to await bcrypt dot hash. So bcrypt.js or bcrypt has built-in functions. So dot hash will enable you to hash the password. Dot hash will take the salt and what you want to hash. So you say this dot password like this, then salt. We now call this salt. So like this now we have successfully written the hash pre-save function. So after this, what you need to do, you need to call the next function. You call next for after this performing, let it continue the code, let it not stop. So now I will go to our postman where we test our API endpoints. I will go to postman. I have saved the request, HTTP request that we did. So in the previous video that we did, we made some registration and we used this postman to test our API endpoint. So if you have not followed the previous videos, I will drop the link of the videos that we have done under this course Node.js. I'll provide it on the description of this video so you follow and you will not get confused. So this is what we registered. So now I'm going to register a user now. If I remove this function, this preset function, if I come here now and register, let me take this off. See the password I enter, password to out. If I send this request, I didn't start my server. npm start. If my server is running, I will send this request status code of 200. So now, okay, worker added successfully. So this is the password. This is the password. Have you seen that is visible? I can access this password now, and I can, if they are authenticating this user now with the username, first name and password, I can log into this account. So we don't want it like that. So we need to hash the password before saving the user to our database. So here now, I'm going to uncomment this worker schema. So here now, I'm going to register this again. I'll now send this request. Okay, worker added. So I will come here now. I'll check the password. See the password. Have you seen that the password is hashed? The password is hashed. See the salt that we generated. See the salt that we generated. That's the salt here. This salt here. This is the salt. So we use the salt to hash the password. So that's it. You have successfully hashed the password of any user that is registering. So now, I believe you all understood this. So what we need to do again, we need to talk about templating engines. So when we get to Node.js, we have what we call templating engines. You know that you are building API for front-end work, so front-end templates. So now we need to integrate a front-end work into our API, our backend API, so that most of us will be asking what we have been doing since, because they have not seen any interface. So we are not here to design, we are not here to do prototype. So but we are here to discuss, we are here to offer you APIs, to create APIs that can power front-end templates. So now, if you have little knowledge of design, you can design, then you can integrate it to your backend API. It will work perfectly fine. But if you don't have any knowledge, you can pick any course, our front end course on this channel. You can follow it. You can be able, at the end of the course, you can be able to develop a very good design that you can integrate into this your backend API. So now we're going to be talking about templating engines in Node.js. So there are many templating engines that you can use to view your template in Node.js. What do we mean by viewing our template? We want to integrate a front-end work into this our server. This is our server. So now we want to integrate a front-end work. So we need to use a templating engine. So this folder I created here, views, is where we'll be creating all our web page files. That's where we'll create them. So all the pages in the template, will specify it here. Then the public, the CSS, HTML, image folders, JS and libraries will go inside this public folder. So now let's go online. Let me check. Let's type templating engines in Node.js. Let me go to our tech, HT tech. Node.js templating engines top 10 best developer must know. Okay. So if you would like to simplify the process of project creation, use any Node.js templating engine below. With powerful and convenient Node.js web developer around the world have a chance to create real masterpieces. So now we have Purge, most common use Node.js template in use. Full documentation. You can go here to see full documentation of Purge, how it's been written and all that. So now that's not what I'm here to talk about. So we have Purge, we have underscore. You can go here underscore.org, underscore js.org. We have mustache.js. You can go and read about mustache.js. We have Jad, we have non-jocks, Node.js, we have EJS, we have Dot. That's that's Node. Okay. So we have great Node. We have Dot templating engine. We have Squirrel, handlebars. We have Marco. Many of them. So that's it. But I'm going to be using one out of all these. They are good in using. So all of them they are good and preferable. So but the one that will be taking you on this course, you can go and further your knowledge about it. But the one that I've been using since I started programming is EJS. So I prefer using EJS because of its simplicity and all that. So EJS simply means embedded JavaScript. So we'll be using an embedded JavaScript to view to configure our templating engine. So firstly, control flow with this EJS tag. So we'll be learning about, you'll be seeing us using this thirdly on escape row. You can come here and read about this, but when we use it, when we make use of it in our work, then you understand it more better. So let's go back to our code. So now, for you to get started with EJS, you need to install a dependency in VS Code. So VS Code has a dependency that allows you write EJS. Very simple. So you go to your extensions, you type EJS, you have EJS language support. So this is it. EJS Visual Studio Code. Okay. So 219. So I think you go for this one, you install it. May have installed it on my VS Code. So it can give you options of your EJS language. So now what you need to do now is to install it, is to install EJS. So we're going to type, I'm going to split this my terminal. I'll do npm install EJS. If I install EJS, I will come here, you see EJS being installed here. So you see EJS. So now what I'm going to do again, I'm going to come here. I'll do const EJS is equal to require EJS. I'm going to import it here. EJS like this. If EJS is not installed, it will throw you error here that cannot find module EJS. So it's better you install it before importing it. So here now I will come here and do app dot use, or I'll say app. You know that app is the instance of our express. So app dot set. I want to set my view engine. So I will do open my string this thing. I will set view engine, view engine, view engine, EJS, like this. I will set my view engine to use EJS. Okay, so I've successfully set it like this. Sorry, I need to write it like this. So you write it like this. Set view engine EJS. So like this now, we have set our view engine to EJS. So now if you want to start viewing your template, you need to have the template dey work on your system. So if you have a template that you want to if you have a template that you want to integrate your backend server, you can integrate it. So now I have a template, a login template that I will integrate in this video. So I will drop the code, I will push the code to GitHub. So and and I will embed the link on the description of this video, so that if you don't have any knowledge of design, you can pick up the code on GitHub then and use it for your project. So now see the folder of my login template. So I'm going to open this with Visual Studio Code right away. So I have CSS folder, I have CSS folder, then I have the index. So now what I'm going to do here, I have CSS where I put all my CSS file. So what I need to do is to create the same CSS file that is being created here, style.css. In this my public folder, I will hit on CSS folder as a new file, style style.css, style.css, style.css. I will go right away, hit on it, do Control A, copy everything that is there. I'll paste it here. Then I will go to my JS folder. So what I want to talk about again, you have a separate folder for every JS script that is pushing that is posting data to the database. So now I'm going to create another folder. I will call it form handler. I'll call it form handler, a folder. So I will create a file, login.js. So this login, we'll be using it to push or to post our data from the front end, that's from the server side JavaScript to our controller. This is our client side JavaScript. Then we post the data from this client side JavaScript to our controller codes, our controller modules, for the controller modules to process it and store it to the database. So here we handle our server client side JavaScript. So now I'm going to come here. This is the client side JavaScript. So this is just the validation of the form, because it's a form, a login form. So I will paste it like this. So now I will now come here. I have index, so I will rename it login dot ejs. I will use ejs like this. So it's no more html. I will use ejs embedded javascript. So I will need to copy everything that is here like this, paste like this. So it's normal. So now what we need to do, see what they did here. All these lengths, you need to change it. That's your work. You need to change it. If there is image on this page, you copy the images and put here, then you will link the images, change the path. So now they created a folder here. So in when they were linking the css, the front end css, so they used dot slash to get this folder. So in this your Node.js Express server, if you want to get the path of this, you need to pass through public css, then you now get the style css. So but I want to set a direct name of this public, so that if you want to get any folder inside this, under this public, you just call forward slash. Here you don't do dot slash to link the path like this, it won't work. You use forward slash. So I want to set this public as a direct name, so that if you want to access css, form handler, image, js, you just do forward slash js slash this thing, the file under it. So I will come here, app.js. I will I will come here, I will do app dot set. You see set. I'll set express static folder. So you, if I do express dot static, I'll do path. Okay. So for me to do this, I need to I'm going to use path. So we are going to require path const path to this folder, so that your express server can read it, can read the path. Require path. So like this, you don install path. Yes. So here now, express dot static, then path, I will say path dot join. I'm going to write it like this, dot join, then underscore direct name, path dot join direct name public. I'll open this. Oh, sorry. Direct name, then I'll specify forward slash public. So now I'm joining this public now. Yes. So I'm setting this as direct name. And if I want to get any folder, subfolder under this public, I'm just going to do forward slash the folder name. That's just it. So now here I can now remove this and say forward slash css slash. If you don't do this like this, any style that is inside there would not affect this. It will not work here. So now like this. So I'm going to teach us something. If you are working on a big project, a complex project, we need to section our work. So this templating, if you are integrating full work that has home, about, contact us, and all those things. You need to specify, you need to section each of the template. So now you know that we have links, like these our CSS style, headers. We have like online CDNs that the front end developer would like to use, and all those like Bootstrap, Font Awesome, all those libraries. So and again, some part of the work like JavaScript files, we have footer, we have navbar and all those things. So now if you are integrating such work into your Node.js Express server, to you for you to avoid like doing one thing many times, you need to provide, you need to section the code, like all the headers, like all the libraries, like this library now, box icon, all these libraries that you know that is applicable to all the pages. When you understand what I'm saying is when you are doing bulk application that requires you to, like for instance, that has like 50 pages, and you know that you link Bootstrap in all the pages. So and you now leave Bootstrap link here in another page, you now link it again in another page, you now link it again 50 times. So if you want to remove it, you go round all the pages 50 times to remove it. That's stress. So for you to save that stress, you need to create a folder called snippets. So inside this folder, I normally have a file called headers.ejs. So I have footer.ejs. So I have script.ejs. I have navbar.ejs, all those things. So now I don't have footer in this my login now. So I only have headers and log and script. So here now, this is the header. So I will just copy this. So now why I did not copy this CSS style is because if it is a global CSS file, a general CSS file that is applicable in all the pages of my work, I will I will put it inside this header, because I will include this header using EJS include tag. I will include it here so that in all my pages I will just be including in them. So but this style is just particularly for login. So if I'm to link it to another page, it may affect the styling of that page. So now that's why I didn't copy it. So anything, any link that you copy to these headers, so no, take note that is a general file that, or a general link that all your work will use. So now to avoid issues, so I will now do EJS. If you type EJS like this, you see all the built-in functions in Java in EJS that you can use. So we'll be using EJS include. This is how the include tag is being written in EJS. So I will specify the part of this header, then include it. Any page that I want to use this now, I will include it here like this. I'll just do EJS include dot slash. You write it yourself, snippet. That's the part to this header. So snippet like this forward slash headers. You write it correctly. If you miss it, it will throw you error.ejs like this. So now if I want to link the JavaScript, if this JavaScript is meant for all the pages, you put it. but this one is particularly for this login. So I will come here, form handler. I will do / form handler / login dot js, like this. So I'm not putting anything in the script for now. So now I have it like this. So now, if I want to see this now, this login. So now, see, let me open this one with code. This one is the template that the front-end developer will give to you. I'm opening it in my browser now so that you see the interface. So this is the interface of the login. So well validated. So now, if I want to if I want to if I want to view my own, that is in my server. So you know that I'm not going to do this our server here. So I'm not going to do open with live server. No, I'm not going to do that. So you need to route this login page. You need to route it. That's why we have controllers and routes. So now, routing this, you render the page. You use response. Should be in our in the when we were starting this course, we said that if you want to send anything to the to the client web browser, if you want to communicate what your server used to use in communicating with your client web browser is request and rest. So if you want to get anything from your client web browser from your server, you use request then to get it. And then if you want to send anything, communicate to the client web browser from your server, use the REST response API. So now we're going to be using rest.render, response.render, to render each of the pages that we want to view. So now we'll come to this controller, this page controller. So now you specify, you render anything that the user that will see in this in your website, you render it in page controller. Every registration, like registering user, authenticating user, that will be done in a controller called auth controller. So you open another file for that. So now, just like that. So now I'm going to just render this login page. What I'm going to do is to write the module get login page, like this. I'll say request rest is equal to this. I'll say I use try catch block code. In the process of rendering the page, if there is any error, I will console log the error. Error dot just error. Then I will send the status code. That is an internal server error. Return res dot status code 500.json 500.json. I return the error dot message, like this. So now I will now do return. Let this function return res dot we can do send status, but now I want to do res dot render. render like this. I'll now specify the part of the page of the file that I want to render. So I want to render this login file and it's inside views. So if I want to get this now, most times you set these views as a direct name. So now, but if I do dot forward slash login, I will get the login page. So like this. So now what I'm going to do like this, now I'm going to route this module. If I route, I'll use the route to get the page. So if the route matches the route I provided here, I specify here to that this function now will now execute, then it will now return this render this page. Now it will now return this page. So now I'll come here, I'll say I'll copy this, paste this, I'll get login page count dot get login get login page like this. I'll copy this route. So I'll now go to my browser, our local host. Now is get. Now I'll go to my local host, type our server 9000 forward slash login, hit on enter. Have you seen it? So this is the page that we rendered. So now this is how it will show because there is no style on it. Now there is no style on it. So we need to configure our style very well. So we need to check here like this how why the styling is like this. So now it's from here, the style. So we'll check why the style is not affecting. Okay, we need to check where the error is coming from. So the error is coming from the linking of the CSS file, so the style sheet. So let's check the part direct name. Let's check the direct name, how we configure the direct name app.js app.o. See where the error is app.use express.static path.join direct name public. So now let's go to and refresh. Okay, that's it. So have you seen it's the same thing with this, and everything is working perfectly fine as it is here. So that's just it. That's how to render a page in our Node.js Express server. Thank you for following the course. Please don't forget to like this video, comment on the comment section, and hit on the bell icon to subscribe to this video. Thank you. See you in the next video.